Harley Quinn is a DC comic book character who's appeared in TV shows, movies, and video games. She is the Joker's girlfriend in almost all of her incarnations, but in the times when she is not with the Joker, she seems to be extremely close with Poison Ivy. And this closeness has on several occasions led me to believe that she and Poison Ivy are a couple. In most cases this is just hinted at, but in some places it is almost stated outright. But let's start with the implied stuff. It's clear that Joker and Harley have had sex, from her giving him such innuendo offers as,
"Wanna try some of my pie?
Harley.
I'm sure you'll want seconds."
to her being overly sexualized in video games.
Can you hear me? Is this thing on? Oh, hiya, B-Man. Harley Quinn here. How do you like my new uniform? Pretty hot, huh? Oh, I got something to show you.
Not that I'm complaining about her being overly sexualized, she is pretty hot after all. But because she is over-sexualized in some mediums, you could say that her closeness with Poison Ivy is just this over-sexualization, coming out again to turn fanboys on with a lesbian fantasy.
Ready for more fun?
As long as it's rough.
And to be fair, this may be how it all began. After all, people love to ship characters. For those who don't know, shipping characters basically means taking two characters who aren't a couple from any TV show, movie or such, and basically making them a couple, usually through fan fiction, though it also comes in art, song and other mediums, though you'd probably classify that as fan fiction as well. And though these two characters have been shipped a lot, and I do mean a lot,
You sure you don't want to join us?
Oh, no. You two have at it.
that doesn't mean that it's true. After all, fan fiction is just that, fiction. It's not canon for the main series. But when Harley has lost the Joker, or been kicked out by the Joker,
Where's Harley?
You can divorce, remember?
So, she's always come back before.
in the past, Harley has often joined Poison Ivy.
Harley Quinn, pleased to meet ya.
Now, this may seem innocent, but Harley is the type of person who cannot be alone. As soon as she loses the Joker, she needs someone else to be the centre of her universe. In the case of the film Arkham Assault, this person was Deadshot.
Did you miss me?
What do you want?
I got an itch I thought you could help me scratch, cowboy.
Wow!
Oh, good start.
And in Batman the Animated Series, it was Poison Ivy. And it looks set to be her again in the upcoming film Batman and Harley.
You know what I am?
My punishment for dropping out of med school.
Though obviously I can't comment at the moment as it hasn't been released, so we'll focus on Batman the Animated Series. Now, that show's quite old now, and back then you couldn't have an openly gay relationship in a cartoon. In fact, even now it's still a taboo, but just because the show couldn't openly show Harley and Poison Ivy as a couple, doesn't mean that there is nothing between them. After all, other TV animated superhero shows, such as Young Justice, have had the creators come out and say that there are bisexual characters in the show, but they're unable to say which ones are bisexual, as the heads of the studios don't want them to, as it will affect their profits. And that's more important to these people. But the point is, there are other shows that have had bisexual characters and not been able to show them, and Harley may have been just one such victim of this in the show Batman the Animated Series and the other movies. And it does seem to be true that Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy are always drawn to each other in almost all of their incarnations across comic books, TV series, movies, and video games. But in the comic series Injustice and the video game Injustice 2, both of which are aimed at adults, we get a lot of evidence that she is bisexual.
I thought we were friends.
Oh, we were more than friends.
In the second game, when Harley Quinn had to take down Poison Ivy during the story mode of the game, she seemed to be divided in her feelings.
Red, you're with them?
Rod will keep his promises, or he'll be my next victim.
Oh, Red, why are you making me do this?
Now, you could just say that these two are close friends and she doesn't want to take her down. After all, there are a lot of close friends in comics who appear to have a thing going on, but in actuality they are just close friends. The first example that comes to mind is Professor X and Magneto, who are very, very close, but apparently have nothing sexual going on, though sometimes I do wonder about them being a couple as they seem very close. But although Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn could just be very close friends, there are several times where it seemed more was going on. There is the very sexual scene where Poison Ivy used her pheromones to take control of Harley.
Sweet, sweet Harley. This time you'll be a good girl for Mama.
It's also important to note that the pheromones are used by Poison Ivy to make men who are attracted to her so in love with her that they do whatever she says. So it stands to reason that the pheromones would only really work if the person was attracted to her. Now, as far as I know, this has never been openly stated like this, but in the past, Ivy's pheromones have only worked on people attracted to her, again, as far as I know. But if we accept this is true and Poison Ivy's pheromones only work on Harley because she is attracted to her, then if Harley wasn't attracted to her, they wouldn't work on her. After all, Poison Ivy then fights Catwoman and doesn't use the pheromones to take control of her as well, and this is most likely because Catwoman doesn't find her attractive, so they wouldn't work on her. It could also be just, the writers not thinking of doing that, but if we accept that the writers did think of that, it could purely be a case that the pheromones will only work on Harley. And just after this, Catwoman has a go at Poison Ivy, who has attacked Harley, and Harley Quinn is now lying on the floor nearly dead. And Catwoman tells Poison Ivy she can't believe she's done this, as
She loved you.
again, this could just be a friend's love, but with the pheromones and everything else, I think you'll agree there's more to it than that. And in the comic book Injustice Ground Zero, Harley retells the story of the video game Injustice Gods Among Us through her own eyes. And it is revealed at the end that she's been recapping the story to an alternate universe's version of herself to help that version of her realise that she needs to leave the Joker and that he's no good for her. And after this, she says that Harley and Poison Ivy could double date with her. Again, this does make them sound like a couple, or at least lovers. And it's for all these reasons that I think she is bisexual, and also several hundred other tiny reasons that I can't easily quantify or explain. Because they're such small little things, like the way that Harley always goes out of her way to help Poison Ivy when she's in trouble, such as freeing her from Arkham Asylum.
Harley! You have to help me.
Ivy? Gee, you look like crap. Maybe I can sneak you some shampoo.
The plants, can't you hear them? They're crying out to me in agony.
Yeah? Well, I really don't have time for this.
Please let me out. They'll die without me.
I don't know, Red. You're not on Mr. J's party list. Oh, well.
Please!
What the heck? I'll cut you a break.
That feels so much better.
Or freeing her from the police when she got captured.
Tammy! It's me, Holly!
Harley, come to free me? Again?
And the way Poison Ivy goes out of her way to help Harley, such as saving her from the League of Assassins in the Injustice 2 comic book series. These things may seem quite simple and that they're just helping each other, but they go out of their way in a way that would put them in danger, and that kind of a feeling and affection only seems to come from a sexual kind of attraction. But it's also little things in the way they talk to each other and the way they are always linked. I can't say anything more specific about these, as it's more a general feeling you get from watching and reading the two characters interact with one another. So I do think she is bisexual. Now, these days it is becoming more and more accepted by society, but as I've said, it's still a taboo in certain circles, such as kids' cartoons. So a lot of the time they cannot show a bisexual character, only strongly imply it. So how much evidence they can show of this bisexuality of Harley's is limited by the medium it is shown in. But I think the evidence is still there to show that Harley Quinn is bi. But what do you think? Do you think Harley Quinn is bisexual or 100% straight? Or do you think Harley is only attracted to Poison Ivy, but otherwise straight? Or do you have another view on the situation entirely? Be sure to let us know in the comments, and I'd just like to give a thank you to those of you who have made this video possible by donating to Needle Mouse Productions page on Patreon. Patreon is a crowdfunding website that allows fans to donate to creators to allow them to continue creating their work, such as this video. And as always, thanks for watching, and feel free to subscribe, share, like, and comment.
Don't know if I should kill you or kiss you.
Kisses only, please.